those first half highlights. Dominated by Canberra with a couple of key moments. Heyman, might she have scored herself? Ash Sykes, centimetres away at the far post, Sarah Walsh.
Heyman and Ash Sykes have been excellent this first half, and as you can see, they've spent a lot of energy doing it, but coming really close to the first 5 minutes of the match there.
Michelle Heyman throughout. A thorn, that header, just over a real chance. That was a brilliant move down the left side. Ash Sykes looking to add to a goal from last week, poking it into the left post. And disappointment again late. It was a chance for Melbourne, and Lisa DeVanna, well, perhaps if she had gone straight at it and chipped the keeper, that would have been another goal, or the first goal of the day. Another one too, DeVanna. And then right on the stroke of half-time almost, Michelle Heyman clear and a low shot, well covered. As the statistics of play, see Melbourne well in possession, but that's not the story according to you.
Look at the balls in the penalty area. That's, for me, there. That shows opportunities in front of goal that have not been turned into goals, really, and it chips away at you. I think victory, they'd feel pretty lucky. They'd probably feel the better of the sides at the moment. They know they've still got more to give, and Canberra, really, they've just given everything. And the way that they play, it's really hard to maintain it. Where is this goal going to come from?
And so we're going into extra time. The second half highlights, still no goals. But plenty of highlights. Melbourne started brightly in the second half. This was a good moment for Rachel Quigley. Saw the chance, had a go.
Yeah, and you can see Lisa DeVanna not happy there, but she has to have the shot there. Michelle Heyman needs to do the same up the other end.
And from long range, Chantel Jones taking it safely on the chest. And again, Melbourne, this is the third chance. And Chantel Jones coming way off a line to prevent Steph Catley from getting near the ball. She was authoritative moving forward at the other end. Canberra had 2 or 3 really top draw opportunities. Michelle Heyman from right in front probably came a little bit high, but you want to be putting them down. Back at the other end, Catley moments later with a driving header too. So 2 clear-cut misses with the header. And all of a sudden, it was Canberra, Laurie Lindsay, Ash Sykes initially. Bree Davies is superb, time and time again.
Well, she's kept him in this match, especially with that play there. Really, she made 3 saves.
And finally, Heyman with the glancing header. She'd done nothing wrong. The header off the post. And finally, at that moment, just seconds ago, Heyman chesting the ball down brilliantly and couldn't get the power on the strike. Bree Davies said, thank you very much, taking it on the edge of the 6-yard area. No score, but no shortage of entertainment. The highlights of the match. And so far, here we see just the first period of extra time, and it did present quite a few moments, didn't it?
Absolutely, and as we've seen, it's actually opened up as everyone's getting tired, making that extra run or defending or picking up the player. It's just been open, and I think we'll see that in the second half of this extra time.
It's not the desired outcome for either team. You'd think Christine Nairn would be a special to take one. Who's going to queue up for the penalties? They weren't expecting this at the outset today. Lisa DeVanna, Bree Davey. She looks to have recovered well. As we head to penalties yet again in W League history, not an unusual outcome in the semi-finals. As I mentioned, both of these teams have been in one apiece. Melbourne have won 1, Canberra have lost 1.
Here we get to see balls in the penalty area. 46-18. Really, it's a true reflection on who should have won this match, to be honest. And I think Victory are possibly lucky to be in this position at the end, and that's why sometimes football's so unfair. And I think Bree Davey especially, she's good. She's good taking. She's good at shot stopping in penalties. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Now in the second half of extra time, well, both teams had some good moments. Well, they could have sealed the game. Michelle Heyman, she has gone from really the penthouse, not to the basement, because she had a terrific game, Heyman. It just didn't fall for her. The timing wasn't there, but she has had 7 real chances to score today, Michelle Heyman. And for a player of her calibre, you'd think at least one time she would have found the net.
It was difficult, wasn't it? Especially there were a couple real shot savers there from Bree Davey, which will really give her confidence going into these penalties. I can't wait to see who's put their hand up for it as well. You imagine Steph Catley for victory. I'm not sure if Lisa Devana will take one, depending on how she's feeling. Lauren Barnes would have to be stepping up for one. You just never know with this, really. On the flip side, Canberra, Munoz loves these. Laurie Lindsay, Steph Oakes, Heyman. And I can assure you both teams would have practiced this all week.
Well, Chantel Jones had some time with Perth. She's enjoying now her time with Canberra in place of the injured Lydia Williams, who'll be watching on and willing a performance out of her as well. And potentially it will be Williams v Davey, perhaps one or two candidates too for the goalkeeping spot, who knows, but maybe a performance here from Bree Davey can put her in the frame.
As a player, it's always a real nerve-wracking time for you standing up at the halfway mark. It's actually really just a horrible feeling. No one really enjoys penalties.
Well, now the referee's in position and the players are going to be summoned.
Let's see what kind of tactics the keepers play. We've seen that controversial penalty over in Perth that you mentioned earlier. Keeper was off a line. This is the longest walk that you'll ever take to the spot kick. Quickest coming back, depending on whether or not you slotted it.
Well, now they go to a player who's delivered before from this particular position, Lauren Barnes. She scored a penalty in the semi-final last year. She's from the penalty spot this time, moves in. Cool as you like. That's how you want to plant them, to give your team the standard. 1-0 in favour of Melbourne victory.
Here we go, Grace Gill. This is why she was brought on at the end. It's interesting, so many different players have different techniques. Some like to just drive it and hope for the best. Some place it like that perfectly, like Lauren Barnes.
So you're going to be coming from behind Canberra. That's okay if one is missed, but the pressure is doubled. And look at the mind games being played by Bree Davey. Gill. Well, how much pressure? She comes on cold now. Can she get the adrenaline going in the leg? She moves in, Gill. Oh, yes. What a decision.
Beautiful.
Slots at home. 1-1.
It's interesting to see. Bree Davies walked up to the ball there. Mind games. It's not nice when you have a keeper standing in front of you on the ball, or when a keeper actually likes to hand you the ball. Perfectly weighted penalty there from Grace Gill.
And now the captain looking to continue this trend on the left foot, getting a balance. Steph Catley, the Matildas number 7, the Melbourne number 7, moves in. Catley, same spots. Jones, no chance. Two super strikes from Melbourne and one from Canberra so far.
Well taken here, and across the body with the left foot, just with the right amount of pace too.
The keeper making that game 2-4-3. Melbourne won against Perth. Caitlin Savage. It was highly controversial, wasn't it? Perth will be looking on here too, and they'll be feeling nervous, I'd imagine. They're not playing. They're playing Sydney tomorrow, but there'll be great tension.
The advantage for Perth, they get to see where the penalties are taken.
And now Laurie Lindsay from the short run-up. Laurie Lindsay, the tired legs. Nonchalant. Cool. 2-2. So far, the keepers haven't had a chance at all. Not a miss.
Well, it's difficult for the keeper. Do they actually choose a side, or they stand tall in the middle?
And now Ellie Reid hasn't scored so far this year. This could be a key moment for her. Reid moves in, slides it the same way. And so they've gone to the well 3 times and come up with 3. No misses so far.
Well taken. You can see just by the way the technique that they use, it's just it comes natural to them. Steph Oakes, if I had to put my money on it, I think this is going to be driven.
And Bree Davey trying to come out again, using all the mind games. Just standing a couple of paces, trying to make herself look bigger than she is with that big arm spread in a moment. Comes back, and now it's Oakes, moves in. Again, they go that right corner. It's proved popular. They've all but one gone that way. And it's 3-3. Cool as cucumbers, all of the players so far. And as that happens, so the pressure mounts. And it goes on a player who's prolific from the dead ball striking situation. Christine Nancy scored a couple of goals this year. That beautiful goal of the year candidate. I thought it was from a dead play situation. It almost was, because she had time to tee it up. Arm in arm, Melbourne victory. Christine Nan moves in with the left foot. And straight down the centre. Jones had gone, had taken a ticket to that same way. And she was outboxed. And now we're getting deep into those moments of pressure, aren't we?
We get to see Munoz here, left-footed. Really strong placer of the ball. I'm going to pick left. Opening up on the left.
Oh, she'll just slide it into the right side, angle the foot open, won't she? Anyway, who to predict? A key moment for the veteran. Munoz now moves in. Just slides it open-footed.
We'll have known her for 10 years.
Munoz is successful. And now we've got Guyane Kodja coming up, and should she manage this one, Canberra will have to score likewise. Should she miss, Kodja moves in to strike. Saved! Chantal Jones comes up with it, and now it's going to be Kendall Fletcher with her last strike, perhaps, for Canberra. She is disappearing. Chantal Jones has done the job. The ball was saved.
Excellent save here from Chantal Jones. I've got to be really honest. I'm surprised that Kodja was taking it within the first 5 with still plenty of older players to take him.
Now it is Kendall Fletcher, the guest player, making her last guest appearance. She can't play in the grand final, but she can send Canberra there. Kendall Fletcher for Canberra. She scores! Canberra celebrates. They're into the grand final. The Dipsy Doodle, the back somersault. Thank you very much. Canberra deflate Melbourne. Absolute delirium and disappointment in equal doses. Chantal Jones the save. Bree Davey, in truth, had a chance. It wasn't the most convincing strike. She went over the ball. Kendall Fletcher delivers.
Chantal Jones stood up tall to make that save. Picked the side.
And she saved Michelle Heyman.
Oh, she did. Oh, look at that. You can see how much it means to him. And look, Chantal Jones, that's great sportsman. Sorry, but not Chantal Jones. Going over to Bree Davey. Oh, poor John Kodja. It wasn't the best penalty taken, but look.
It was a save, though, wasn't it? It was a save. Well, let's go down to Ash Sykes with Stephanie Brantz and the adrenaline just pulsing around Geelong. Some disappointment for Melbourne victory indeed. They've had a grand season. They are not going to make it to their 3rd consecutive grand final. Instead, it is going to be Canberra to challenge again into their 3rd grand final. Let's go down to Ash Sykes.
Yeah, Ashley Sykes is the player of the match. Congratulations, Ashley. What a finish, what a match.
Amazing. It was such a tight game. You could tell it's probably going to go to penalties, and it's just an amazing feeling to come away with a win.
It has been a little bit of an up and down season results-wise, scraped through to the finals. What suddenly clicked?
I think we just worked out how to play with each other again. We knew that if we stay tight defensively, we can win games off the back of that, and I think that was what won us the game today.
Are you sure it wasn't part of the plan to make sure you've got happy birthday celebrations?
Oh, I think so. I think, pushed the girls pretty hard to make sure that happened.
Ashley, congratulations on the win today. Look forward to seeing you in the grand final next week, and happy birthday to you and your sister for Monday.
Thank you very much.
Ash Sykes, Bree Davey, inconsolable too. She'll consider that after the terrific game she had a chance to save the last one under pressure. 5-4 on penalties. Canberra into the grand final. They'll meet either Perth or Sydney.